Okay, so this is your second part to your final exam review right here. All right, this is it, guys. All right. All right, so here are your first two problems. Here's your first two problems, guys. About half of your final exam is solving inequalities and solving equations. That's about half of your final exam. So it's a huge, huge chunk, these inequalities and equations. Now, the good news is you solve them both essentially the same way. So if I were to tell you what do you need to be really, really good at for your final, it's solving these types of problems. All right, there's other types of problems as well. You have the exponents, you have some volume on there where you solve for the volume, which we'll go over. But this is just a huge chunk of what you need to know. Let's see. Anthony, what did you do first on number 1? Yeah, divide by 2 both sides, and you get 216 equals a to the third. And then Trey, what did you do to solve for a? Cube, yeah, very good. Cube root it, and you get 6. All right, anybody get 6? Did you guys get 6? All right, Lily, what did you do first on number 2? Yeah, you need to do the opposite. Add and subtract first. Add 12 to both sides. 2x to the third equals 128. Sherelle, what would I do next? Divide by 2. X to the third equals 64. And last step, everybody. Cube root it. X equals 4. All right. So you have a couple questions like that on your final. All right. Let's look at what comes next. The product of a number and -5 is at least 30. Go ahead and write the inequality represented by the statement and solve it. It will not say to graph it, okay? You just write it and solve. Maya, what's the inequality? Perfect. If you have to be at least something, that means that's like the minimum number. At least 16 to drive, you got to be 16 or older. So product of a number and -5 is at least. That means greater than or equal to. Maya, what'd you do to both sides? Divide by -5, and what was your answer? Okay, but it started greater than. Why did you reverse it? Okay, so this is really important because I'm going to give you both on your final exam. Sometimes the negative is connected to x, and when it's connected to x, that's when I reverse it. If the negative is on the other side, which in this case 30 is positive, but if it was, that doesn't mean to switch it. It has to be connected to x, or whatever variable it is. All right, number 4. All right, solve the inequality. Solve the inequality. Sherelle, what did you do first? Yeah, distribute 2x minus 4 is less than 2x minus 4. What's the next step? What do I say when I have variables on both sides? What do I need to do? You just need a minus 2x. Try to get them on the same side. But when that happens, what happens to my x's? They cancel. So sometimes when you have variables on both sides, they end up canceling. Now, if they don't cancel, we can keep solving. But if they do cancel, we have to look at what's left. Is that a true statement? No, it is not less than -4. It's equal to, but that's not a part of the inequality. No solution. You have to say the whole thing, no solution, to get credit for your answer. If you say infinite or if you don't say anything, then it's not correct. All right, next problem. All right, we're going to do 2 systems. Sorry for the kind of weird handwriting. The stylus was being weird. All right, so these are systems of equations. One of them, elimination, is the clear path to solving. The other one, substitution, is the clear path. Now, remember, you can technically use either method, but you want to use the one that's more set up for that method, so it's just less work for you. So I really tried to make it kind of cut and dry. One is substitution, the other one's elimination. Go ahead and use either method to solve the system of equations, both of them. Okay, Josh, on the first problem, which method did you use? Yeah, definitely substitution. And when you substitute, you could either plug in 3y plus 5 in for x down here, or you could plug in 8y in for x on the other one. Either way, you're going to end up with the same substitution, and that is 3y plus 5 equals 8y. All right, now, Logan, what would you do to both sides? Yep, subtracted 3y. 5 equals 5y. Y equals 1. Now, I realize that systems of equations are one of our more difficult concepts. However, this is about as simple as it gets on systems. What do I do with that value to find x? Just tell me, guys. Plug it back in. It doesn't matter where. Okay, I'm just going to plug it back in here. That's real simple. What's 8 times 1? 8. So what does x equal? 8. Now put it into an ordered pair and you're done. 8, 1. Who got 8, 1? Raise your hand if you got 8, 1. All right, great. Okay, number 6. Did you catch it? Yeah. Right off the bat, guys. You don't have to do anything. You do not have to manipulate these equations because there's already what? There's already opposites. What was it, Mason? Negative 3y and positive 3y. They already cancel out, and now just add up the other terms. 6x equals 30. Divide by 6, x equals 5. Now here's where it gets kind of a little weird, right? When you plug 5 back in, I did the first equation. When you plug 5 back in, what's 2 times 5? 10 minus 3y equals 10. So what are you going to do, Sarah? You don't add 3. Yes, because it's multiplication. You divide by negative 3, but when you subtracted 10, you got 0, and 0 divided by negative 3 is 0. So your answer is 5, 0. 5, 0. I know, it got a little weird because those 10s canceled, but we still just follow the process. Guys, when in doubt, listen, when in doubt, plug in the entire ordered pair back into one of the equations and see if it makes it true. Okay, so 2 times 5 is 10, minus 0 does equal 10. So it works out. All right, so that's how we can double check those. All right, next problems. All right, we have some inequalities. Like I told you at the beginning of this review, if you understand equations and inequalities, that's about half of your final exam. It's such a huge chunk of your final, all right? And they're so closely related too. So let's solve these inequalities. One is just a single step. The other one is a compound. Let's solve and graph them. Solve and graph. First one, what do I need to do to both sides to solve? Ethan, what do I do to both sides? Divide by 4. Now here's the question. Do I need to flip my inequality? No. I divided by a negative though. But it's not connected to x, okay? So that's why I put this in there, because this is on your final. I don't flip it just because it's connected to, or I'm dividing by a negative. It has to be connected to x. X is greater than negative 5. Open dot, arrow going to the right. All right, now on number 8, what do I need to do to solve that inequality? Eric? Yes. Is that what you were going to say? Divide by 2. Okay, across all of them. Negative 4 is less than x is less than or equal to 6. What number goes on the left side of my number line? What number goes on the right? 6. Open or close dot on negative 4? Open. What about 6? And then line connecting them in between to show. I guess I could have made that a little bit. Okay, just to kind of darken it up. And basically what we're saying is only the solutions in this range would make the compound inequality true. All right, you have 2 problems on your final exam. All right, I did my best. Okay, you can at least tell what it is, okay? Go ahead and find the volume of this shape, okay? Go ahead and find the volume of this shape. You need to know the formula. So if you don't already, you're going to have to write it down and make sure you have it memorized before your final. V equals pi r squared h. 3.14. What's the radius? 6 squared times 8. So 6 squared is 36 times 8. And then you get your answer, 904.32 feet cubed. All right, who got that right? You can. The exam will be specific, and if it's not, you just write your answer, and we're flexible on which one. If you said 904, that's fine also. All right, here's your last one. Okay, again, I did my best. It's kind of hard to. Okay, so find the volume. Find the volume of this shape. Alright guys, let's say the formula together. V equals 4/3 pi r to the 3rd power. So 4/3 times 3.14 times 20 to the 3rd power. So I need to evaluate this part first and then go back and deal with the 4/3. So when I multiply it, I get 25,120. How can I multiply it by 4/3 without using the fraction button? Okay, so this is like 25,000 over 1. So you multiply it by 4 first, your numerators together, and then you go back and divide by 3. And that's how you get 33,493.3. Repeating, if you just rounded it to 493, that's fine too. Okay, totally fine. So guys, we should be pretty set up between what we reviewed on Friday and what we reviewed today. That's pretty much your final exam. All right, and you should be ready.